Hey guys, Harry Thomas here, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my top 10 best movies of 2020. Was not able to do this list last year, so that was another delay in the year of delays. But this year I can, because it's never too late. And let's just get this out of the way. I want to pretend 2020 never happened. It was no debate the worst year of my life, period. And I think the worst year of everybody's life for everybody who's been alive in the 21st century. We were all hyped for 2020, a brand new bright start to the 2020s decade. And it turned out to be the shittiest fucking start to a decade we could have imagined, and worse. Not only due to COVID, but the loss of my mum I mean, the year where my mum passed away is of course going to be the worst and hardest year of my life. That says there were some decent movies last year that did give us a hope that 2021 would be a stronger year, and it was. Without further ado, if you want to know my top 10 favourite movies from last year, then just keep watching. At number 10, The Bumblebee of Bad Boys. Bad Boys are for life. What do I mean by Bumblebee? Just like Bumblebee, Michael Bay did not direct a few. After Bad Boys 2, which was a yikes, 25 years after the first Bad Boys, this was exactly what the trilogy needed to go out, so with such a high bang. Not afraid to be the darkest and most brutal of the trilogy, and keep the jokes and push the jokes to one side to focus on a compelling family drama between Will Smith's character, his former wife, and their son that they had. At number 9, Enola Holmes, tied with The Great Mouse Detective as my favourite Sherlock Holmes movie. It's certainly blows 2018's Holmes and Watson to shit, and Millie Bobby Brown is remarkably awesome as Sherlock's sister. I mean, she is pure flawless in anything she's in, whether it be Stranger Things or the Monsterverse. Most recently, Godzilla versus Kong, and she's growing hot now. Now that she's getting a little older, and to see Henry Cavill as Sherlock, as Superman himself, and Geralt of Rivia from The Witcher was masterful casting, as well as the mystery and twists in this movie actually being engrossing and never dragged. At number 8, Black Beauty. This remake sure is a beauty. I mean, why don't more people know about this movie? It's probably the most forgotten gem released on Disney Plus last year, and I think it's told the story but better than any other adaptation. I love the gender swap to make both protagonists female. It's a harmless change, and the it's a harmless change, and the bond between this girl and a Black Beauty who have both lost their families was like watching a younger version of myself, who bonded with horses when I went horse riding, and I was rooting for Beauty to overcome all the animal abusers to reunite with the girl. At number 7, Elephant, Disney's greatest nature documentary to date from Disney Nature. It sucks that most Disney nature movies don't get put on top 10 lists, so they really should. Because like an elephant, this movie never forgets to be heartwarming, and Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex herself, narrates the movie so beautifully. Her voice gives the viewer so much comfort, and she could be the female David Attenborough, I'm not kidding. And I mean, and seeing the extreme journey and migration that this herd of elephants had to go through with their baby to find water makes us realise just how intelligence and brilliance these creatures are, and they deserve our protection. At number six, the movie that revived cinema in during the worst of the pandemic, Tenet. Good old Christopher Nolan saved cinema. Thank you, Nolan. And I mean, we will we will never forget Tenet for that reason alone. And even though Nolan has now cut ties with Warner Brothers, I wish him all the best with his future. Any studio will be luckier to have this innovative filmmaker. Tenet does things that no Nolan movie has ever done before. I mean the I mean, it has the most complicated plots that you have to have the thinking skills of a math magician to work out. But on your second viewing, you will totally get what's going on, and the sound effects and the visuals make this movie the quintessential IMAX experience. And actually, Elizabeth Debicki's character Cass, she stole the movie for me, and her scenes with Kenneth Branagh, where he was domestically abusing her, were the most intense in any Nolan movie. I was overjoyed that she got to the positive conclusion she deserves, where she was finally rid of him and got to be with her son again. At number five, probably my most unpopular opinion, as some will place this on their top 10 worst movies of 2020, but I don't care. This is my list and my honest opinion. Wonder Woman 1984. What a wonderfully underrated and overly trashed sequel to my all-time favourite superhero blockbuster. I think all the dislikers who are way too quick to trash this gem should look at it a bit more deeply and be more thankful that Patty Jenkins and Warner Brothers bit the bullet and released it in 2020. They could have just delayed it to 2021, but thank goodness they didn't. And I, for one, think Gal Gadot was even more confident in this movie than she was in the original, and Cheetah and Maxwell Lord being some of the DCU's strongest antagonists. And this is finally a movie that grants that tells a story about wishes without ripping off Aladdin, unlike Wish Dragon, cough cough, and the way they brought Steve Trevor back completely respects the ending of the original Wonder Woman without making it redundant, and it's superbly sets up Wonder Woman 3. Fingers crossed that Diana and Asteria will meet, and maybe Cheetah will come back. At number four, The Invisible Man. Luckily, this masterpiece did not go invisible or unnoticed, and is one of the most incredible thriller and horror experiences I have had. 2020 had so many empowering movies for women to stand up to their abusive partners who beat them, and The Invisible Man's no exception. Elizabeth Mosley is so excellent that even saying her performance is Oscar worthy is an understatement. And you are just despise the hell out of her prick former husband, who's pretending to be a ghost so he can stalk her and harass her, especially in the shower scene, which is the most suspenseful shower scene since Psycho. In fact, even better than that. Yes, I'm going that far. At number three, what was my number one? At number three, what was my personal favourite animated movie for the majority of 2020 until the very end, Onward. This is the first Pixar movie that comes to mind when I think of the word underrated and underappreciated. Seriously, after Soul came out, everybody stopped talking about Onward, and I don't get that. So it's sadly become the good dinosaur of 2020. It had the misfortune being released the exact same year as a Pete Docter Pixar movie, but Onward is kicks the living daylights out of the good dinosaur in terms of imagination, scope, and heart and soul, and you can see that Dan Scanlon, his put all of his heart and personal experience into the story, with Ian and Barley having grown up without a dad, and uh, uh, and how Ian realised that the closest he has had to a dad is his brother, and he could still be happy in life with his mum and his brother, and their mum's boyfriend was Disney's first non-villainous step parents, so props to them. Oh, and the gay police couple was extra sweet, and the fantasy world that this movie takes place in has got to appear at a Disneyland theme park ride or something, because fantasy realms are the worlds I dream about living in any day. They are like the water that I drink, and uh, um, the manticores, the unicorns, the dragons, combined with the modern world where technology surpasses magic, is up there with the Monster World and Monsters Inc. as one of Pixar's most extraordinary universes. If Onward were to get a TV show or sequel, I wouldn't mind. At number two, Soul. Yes, sure. Some would go as far as calling this the number one movie of 2020, but two is pretty good too. Soul was inevitably going to be the best animated movie of 2020 on my list. What else would it be? I mean, Pixar are the only studio to have two animated movies on this list. That's how shite all the other animated competition was in 2020. I still need to see Wolf Walkers, but Soul, boy, does it have a pure soul, and Peter Docter delivers his fourth groundbreaker in a row. As long as this dude is the head of Pixar, then Pixar will forever remain the studio that can do no wrong. I mean, Joe's journey with a 22 to realise that life isn't all about dreams. It's also about, the little pleasures and the people you meet. And your life isn't a total failure if you don't get the dream that you think you were destined to get. Because there's always something to enjoy. And New York and the afterlife are some of the most photorealistic and beautiful environments that Pixar have ever done, and they actually made Joe going into the body of a cat actually funny as well as legit intelligent and thought-provoking. And my number one favorite movie of 2020 is just like my favorite movie that came out in February 2019. This also came out in February 2020 and successfully and never got dethroned on my list anyway. Birds of Prey, my personal favourite of the two freaking awesome DCU movies we received in 2020. I mean, a good old DC to keep our spirits higher throughout the cruel year that was 2020. And Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn is now my absolute favourite character in the DCU. She is the true champion of the franchise, and can she just stay with DC forever. I just know she's going to be the standout of this year's The Suicide Squad, and this movie fully explores Harley's charitable side, how Harley breaks Cassandra out of jail and protects her from Black Mask and really becomes like her mother, or at least her role model. And sure, it's more the Harley show than it is the Black Canary and Huntress show, but when the birds of prey do unite, it is one badass finale. Just seeing these queens slay as they take on Black Mask as men, and Ewan McGregor was Black Mask was one slick and twisted villain, and Huntress being the best of the supporting cast, and her backstory was certainly the most shocking, and I mean you can see why she grew up to be a take no shit character and fend for herself, and Black Canary was also really three-dimensional. How she leaves a Black Master to join the good side at the end, and the opening animation with Harley's narration were the most original opening titles to a DC movie I have ever seen. Period, and it helps that Margot Robbie helped produce this movie, and Kathy Yan did a truly astonishing job directing her first major blockbuster, and the DCU would be smarter to keep her for a potential Birds of Prey sequel, or maybe Suicide Squad 3 if James Gunn isn't free. But so, and also Harley's hyena was one cutie pie, and I shed like 10 tears when he was presumably killed, or when Harley's apartment exploded. But I breathed the biggest sigh of relief to see he was alive and well in the very final scene. So I don't know about you guys, but I will more than come back for a second helping of Birds of Prey in the DCU. This is easily the best DCU movie since the first Wonder Woman. It doesn't top Wonder Woman, but it's the closest that DC has ever gotten to Wonder Woman, and I'm proud to call Birds of Prey the best movie of 2020. After I've done my top 10 worst movies of 2020, those movies reflect 2020 as a year better than the best do. I mean, I've got my cousin's wedding this weekend, so I don't know if I will be able to do as many videos as I would like, but I will be able to do the Harry Awards in November without a doubt for 2020 because I've delayed them for long enough. Oh, well, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this top 10 list. And what are your favourite movies from 2020? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. And I'll see you next time. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.